This is day 15 of the 30-day Fruitarian challenge, and I'm just checking in to give everybody an update of where I'm at. I'm still kicking, still doing it. Nothing new as far as from a dietary standpoint. Kept it very basic today. A few bananas. The bananas weren't like a couple of them were right, but not enough to make it a full meal. So I only had 3 bananas today. I had some grapes, about a pound of grapes, and what else did I? Oh, I had my smoothie, which was a mango, frozen mango, banana, and leafy green smoothie. So that's as far as my diet went today. Not a heavy diet by any means. But just just trucking along this 30-day challenge. Halfway through, today is day 15. So we got 15 days left, and I would love to hear your guys' updates. Some of the updates you guys have been sharing on the comments have been fantastic. Big ups to everyone out there. If you are doing some type of challenge and need some help as far as like how much fruit to eat, grocery list, things like that, I do have an ebook that you can check in the description. So make sure you check that. But I'm going to allow some more people to jump on so I can answer some questions and things of that nature. But I did have some comments that I like to allude to from the past. The first one was actually a comment that was on a video that I just released Sunday, which that video was why I'm leaving America, my journey to escape the rat race. So if you don't know, me and my family, we are on the journey to find a place outside of the United States to live. And basically in this video, I listed, some of the reasons. I didn't make it a very formal video. It was very informal, not scripted, just kind of talking about some of the reasons that we're going to be leaving the United States. And I got a comment that, you know, definitely wasn't a positive comment, but it basically called me out and was just saying things, like you can all the things you're talking about, you can get here in the United States, and you just got to find an area in the country or a rural area, and you can have all the things I'm talking about, and the stuff that I'm leaving exists everywhere. So I wanted to touch on that real quick. I'm not big on responding to comments that are negative, not because of the content of them, more along the lines of the energy behind it. So if you're disrespectful, or if you come across as calling me out and saying things about me, like personal type things, I'm probably not going to respond. But I might make a video just to kind of address the points, right? But if you come to me in the comments, with things you might disagree with, then we can have a conversation. I think that's how we all grow. And anybody who's seen my videos before know that, and have been in the comments section with me. Had some real long comment conversations with the carnivore community, because the carnivore community constantly, somehow they get my videos in their algorithm, and they constantly will address some of the things I talk about, and the dietary stuff. So anyway, so as far as like this particular comment on this video, does political division and things of that nature exist in most places? Yes. But the amount of it here in America and all that it infiltrates in America is completely different than some of the other places that you can live. If we're talking about the Caribbean, we're talking about small islands, we're talking about third world countries. Is there political talk? Is there political stuff? Is there corruption, things of that nature? Yes. But it does not take over the culture. There's a different type of community aspect to it, to where division is not so rampant in those places versus America. Like, the political temperature in this country, like, literally controls almost everything that goes on right now. Right. And that's just one aspect of it. My main reason that I want to get out the United States is to get out of the rat race. the amount of work you have to do, the amount of stress you have to put on yourself just to maintain a decent life here in America, is not healthy. It's absolutely not healthy because all you're doing is treading water. You're constantly treading water. Is this a capitalist society? Yes, it is. Is there opportunity? Of course there is. But opportunity for what? Opportunity for a 50 to 60-year life of working 40 hours a week just to maintain that type of lifestyle? I'm out. I want a more simple lifestyle. I want to live in a place where, I don't have to bust my ass just to maintain. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in my daughter growing up that way and not interested in living the rest of my life that way. And not to mention the community aspect, right? Is there sections of great community here in America? Of course, there's some amazing people here in America. But the generosity and the genuine temperature of the average person in America and the average situation is much lower here because everybody is so stressed, because everybody's so divided, because everybody is a part of that rat race. When you go to a place that lives a simple life, that is focused on the things that truly matter, it shows up in the way they present themselves. It shows up in the generosity they have. It shows up in, the just the gratuity that they offer in every aspect of life. And that's what we're looking for. And as far as growing the food, yes, there are pockets and places in America that you can grow food. There's no doubt about that, right? But they're few and far between, number one. And in order to live in some of those places, whether that be in a rural area in Florida or a part of California, I mean, think about how much money you have to spend to get to those places and maintain those places. So it all ties in together. So those are the reasons that we're looking outside of America to live the rest of our days. You know what I'm saying? And to enjoy the rest of our life. We look at life as we're living. We're not on the path to dying. We're not trying to work our ass off until we can collect Social Security and then hopefully retire at that point to enjoy the last however many years we have left. No, we're not about that. We are about looking at life in a different perspective to where we can offer, what we are from an energetic standpoint, what we are truly passionate about to the world and not have to worry about, is this going to be enough to keep the lights on? Or is this going to be enough to maintain this house? Or am I going to have to get foreclosed? Or am I going to have to take out a second loan or whatever the case may be, right? So that's where it truly comes down to. What does that have to do with this 30-day Fruitarian challenge? Absolutely nothing. But like I said, when people comment on my stuff, I like to share it with everybody. And if you are tuning into this, that means you have an active interest in not only what I talk about, but me, myself. Because ultimately, when I do videos and I share stuff, I'm sharing myself and my life, right? Everything I talk about is through my experiences and my, and from attaining education throughout the years and reading books and things of that nature. So I just wanted to touch on that particular comment. And look, the comment's cool, but like I said, if you come at me with a certain type of energy, I'm not going to respond to your comment, but I will address points to everybody else. So, but that's that. Tomorrow, day 16. Things have not been very difficult. I'll be honest, like from a craving standpoint, there's been none. Remember, like I usually eat cooked food once or a couple, 2 to 3 times a week, right? Dinners 2 to 3 times a week. And obviously I haven't been doing that in this 15 days and I'm good. Like there's no craving. There's no me like, oh my God, I really want to, some hummus or I really want some falafel or something like that. No, it's not happening. Right. So that's a part of it. Like I told you guys from days 7 through 10 was going to be the toughest. And then after that, it just kind of levels out, cause my body has just responded and my body is letting me know that you're doing some fantastic things. You're re-implementing these habits, and you're cleaning yourself out. And that's the biggest part of this 30-day Fruitarian challenge. See, have you read the book The Richest Man in Babylon? Wow. Johnny Blade 78. I'm glad you brought that up. And just because of that, let me look in the library real quick. The Richest Man in Babylon. Ha ha ha. It's crazy you brought that up. I'm very interested to hear why you brought that book up. Yeah, yeah. I actually found this book when I was, where were we? Were we in downtown? Oh, no, we were in New Orleans, actually. And we stopped by this metaphysical shop, and I saw this book, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this. I've always been interested in Babylon and just the significance to that and whatnot. And obviously it's had an impact on my life. But I'm glad you brought that up. I'm interested to hear what you think about it. My mentor told me about that. But yeah, okay, yeah, man. It's interesting when you look at Babylon and the comparisons, and I shouldn't say the comparisons, the similarities to what we deal with today in America. In my book coming out, I touch on a lot of those points, a lot of the points of today and how things are shaping out today and the systems that are put in place. A lot of those systems were built, are somewhat of a carbon copy from Babylon. So it's very interesting. Yeah, interesting. I'm glad you brought that up, man. Small world. That's really cool. That's really cool, Johnny Blade. Appreciate you bringing that up. But yeah, man. Well, as far as like where we live and how we want to move forward, everything matters. Ultimately, everything matters. And that's why I'm so passionate about the diet, because this is your temple, right? This is what you can control. And you have the power. Like, what's crazy is you actually have the power to make this temple as amazing as it possibly can be. Nothing else can do that. External factors have a minimal impact. It's based on you and your conscious choices. And once you understand that power, you will see your entire world change, right? In my book, the first half of it, because the book, Detox Yourself, The Secret to Freeing Your Mind and Creating a Healthy Life, the first half of it is merely about the freeing your mind aspect. Because until you do that, until you start detoxing this, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. You're going to fall back into the same issues. You're going to see the world in the same light, and you're going to continue the same patterns. That's why people always wonder, man, why does bad things always happen to me? Well, it's energetic, right? You never changed your energy. You could change some of your actions, but if you don't change your energy, which ultimately correspond with changing like deep-rooted habits, nothing's really going to change, right? I read James Ramsey and Tony Robbins' books. Just subscribe, bro. Have a blessed day. I appreciate that. Thank you for the subscription, Johnny Blade. You have a blessed day as well, man. Appreciate you checking in. Yeah, Tony Robbins and both of them, they got some real good stuff, man. But yeah, the mind, right? Because at the end of the day, mind, body, soul, spirit, it's all one, right? And each one affects the other. But in this 3D world that we're in a world where it's so structured systemically, you got to clean out the mind, man, before you do anything. Because look, even doing a 30-day Fruitarian challenge, or even a 7-day Fruitarian challenge, or even just giving up meat or chocolate or cheese or bread for a week or something is like Mount Everest for some people. And it's mainly because of this. It's mainly because of their mind. And they're just not prepared to do those things, to make those changes, because they can't see a world without those things. But when you clear the mind and you clean the mind out and you start from that aspect, then it's easier to see the finish line and focus on like the positives of that journey. That's what I try to do, right? I'm focusing on the positive. Like each day, I focus on the positives of everything I'm doing. Like when I eat my fruit, like I know that this fruit is allowing my body to be the best that it could possibly be. I'm getting amazing electricity, which is ultimately going to build up within me and allow my body to manifest the best version of 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐞 you could possibly see. And that's my motivation. So that makes the food even taste better. And look, fruit tastes amazing anyway, but like it makes the fruit taste better. So those moments where, I might slip up or something like that, that's what always brings me back. And that manifestation is in so many different ways, and you won't understand it until you actually start doing it. Like before I went this route and I was gaining weight like tremendously, I didn't realize how I looked. And I was on camera then too. I had a podcast, I was doing all kinds of things. I was on camera, I was, very visual on social media and things like that. And I didn't realize how I looked, because you see yourself in a different, in a very present type of perspective. And when you see yourself in that present perspective, you're kind of like, you kind of succumb to who you are. So you don't really notice these things unless you look at pictures or something like that. But once I made the change and I saw the weight start to drop and I saw my skin looking better and I started feeling better, then it was like addicting, because now every day I wake up and I see myself, I'm like, man, I'm looking good. Like this is the version of me that I want the world to see. And then when I look back on those pictures and those videos and things of that nature, it's like, wow, man, I've come a long way. Like, holy shit, like this is crazy. And people that are close to me and that have followed me for all these years and been a part of my journey see that, and that they let me know. They're just like, that is like a spark to them. Like, wow, look at the transformation he made. I can do that too. Now, most of these people understand that on a physical standpoint, like from a vanity standpoint. But when they hear my story and see the things that I've healed, and then I share stories of other people that have healed, that is the part that is truly the most, truly the most amazing. So for anybody out there, you know what I mean? Like, understand that once you start going down this route and you start implementing the more raw fruits into your diet, and you start shifting your diet from a majority cooked food to a majority raw food type of diet, like, the manifestations that your body is going to produce is going to bring you so much more happiness, physically, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, the whole gamut. And that is the benefit of this thing. That is the what's the word I'm looking for? The determining factor on why it's imperative that you make these changes. You feel what I'm saying? Let's see here. Attacking Aiden, didn't the Achaemenid Empire emancipate Jews from Babylon exile? P.S. Your nutritional values seem to catalyze wisdom and self-happiness. Oh man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Your first part of it, um, I'm not 100% sure. So I'm not even going to answer that. To be honest, maybe someone in the chat can help you out with that one. I don't know the answer to that. But as far as my nutritional values, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Respect to you for sharing that. At the end of the day, like I said, your body is your temple, and that's what I'm all about. I'm going to actually look up that question that you had, and I'm going to try to have an answer for you tomorrow, because I don't know the answer, to be totally honest, man. Um, and I used to actually know, to be a lot more adept in religious history uh, years ago. But since I went the health route and I've went the natural diet and health and nature route, as a certified detoxification specialist, it's crazy. It's like my brain has shifted a lot of the knowledge that I had to like a filing cabinet deep in the back. So I'm just not able to attain that right now, because I probably would have had that answer 7 years ago or something, because I was so enthralled by religion and history and things of that nature, specifically when it came to stuff like that. But don't have the answer for you right now, but I'll try to find it. But all in all, like I said, I wanted to share those things. At the end of the day, We're going to keep it pushing forward. Whatever you're doing in your life, from a dietary standpoint, just ask yourself the conscious question, right? This is my tagline. The conscious question is what I'm going to eat for the betterment of me or the detriment of me. And if you listen to and if you answer that question with the betterment of you, if you follow that betterment journey, you're going to be in such a better place. And your body's going to manifest amazing things, and your world is going to manifest amazing things. Because when you start changing your body, you start changing your mindset, you start changing your energy, that's when everything around you changes. The people around you will change. Opportunities will change. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how it all works together. And I am living testament of that. So I want to say I appreciate each one of you guys jumping on my lives every day. Tomorrow will be day 16, and we'll keep it moving, right? We'll keep it moving. And please share your wins. Share your wins with us in the comment section, right? Even if it's one day win. You know what? Today, I didn't eat any fried foods. That's a win. Today, I didn't eat any processed food. That's a win. Today, I didn't eat cheese. That's a win. You know what I'm saying? Today, I made it a point to eat extra fruit. That's a win, right? Share those wins. That's what community is truly about. And I care, and I know we all care. Anybody watching this, I know they care. So keep that in mind. You guys have an amazing night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, all right? Peace, love, and light, everybody. I'm out of here.